The city awoke slowly that morning, its rhythm not yet in full swing. The pale sunlight stretched across cracked walls and uneven streets, casting long shadows over bicycles, food stalls, and sleeping dogs. Vendors shuffled about, arranging vegetables in neat piles while the aroma of fresh dough fried in hot oil floated into the air. It was that fragile moment between night and day when everything feels suspended, as though the city is taking a deep breath before life begins. No one expected history to shift in that quiet hour. Down the main street, a convoy of vehicles rolled steadily, their polished doors reflecting the early light. At the front sat Ibrahim Traoré, fresh from a morning inspection on the edge of town. His guards scanned every alley, alert to threats. But Ibrahim's gaze wasn't searching for danger, it searched for humanity. Through the dusty windows, he studied his people, mothers bargaining for onions, children chasing each other barefoot, old men sipping bitter tea. This was what mattered to him, the heartbeat of his nation. And then he saw her. A small girl, no older than 10, walked slowly along the roadside. On her back clung a tiny boy, his arms draped around her shoulders, his head limp against her neck. She staggered under the weight, her face streaked with tears and dust, but her eyes carried a fire stronger than her frail body. Every few steps she whispered words, maybe to comfort him, maybe a prayer. Ibrahim felt his chest tighten. Something inside him refused to stay still. "Stop the car," he ordered. The convoy screeched to a halt. Guards tensed, eyes darting across the street. Vendors paused, whispering nervously. But Ibrahim was already stepping out, his boots crunching against the gravel. The little girl froze, startled by the sight of the tall man in a red beret approaching her. She didn't know who he was, only that he was coming closer. Ibrahim knelt so his eyes met hers. His voice softened. "Little one, why are you crying? Why do you carry your brother like this?" Her lips trembled. At first she said nothing. But when she looked into his face, she saw no anger, only concern. At last she whispered, "My brother. He's very sick. The small hospital near our home said they couldn't help him. They told me to take him to the big hospital in the city, but it is far. I don't even have money for transport." She pressed her hand on her brother's leg, her voice breaking. "He's getting worse. I don't know what to do." The street went silent. People leaned closer to hear. Ibrahim's jaw tightened. He had heard reports of suffering before, but hearing it from a child's mouth pierced deeper than any document. Without hesitation, he placed a hand on her shoulder. "There is no time to waste. Come, we are going to the hospital now." Before she could answer, Ibrahim gently lifted the boy into his own arms. The frail child's chest rose shallowly against his strength. Turning to his guards, he barked, "Prepare the vehicle!" Within moments, the siblings were inside the convoy, Ibrahim sitting beside them. The little girl twisted her hands nervously in her lap before whispering, "Sir, why are you helping us?" No one else stopped. Ibrahim met her eyes. "Because your brother's life matters. Because your tears matter. No child should carry such pain alone." She swallowed, tears spilling again, but this time they carried a flicker of hope. "My name is Salimata," she whispered. "And this is Solain." Ibrahim repeated their names softly, sealing them in his memory. "Salimata, Solain, today you are not alone." Minutes later, the convoy pulled into the city's largest hospital. Dust rose as Ibrahim stepped out with Solain in his arms. Gasps rippled through the courtyard. Nurses froze mid-step. Patients stared wide-eyed. Few had ever seen the president like this, not as a distant leader, but as a man carrying a sick child. He pushed through the emergency doors, his voice sharp but calm. "This boy needs urgent care now." Doctors rushed forward, eyes darting between the pale boy and the unmistakable red beret. Salimata tugged at Ibrahim's sleeve. "Will he be okay?" she whispered. Ibrahim bent low. "He is not alone anymore." "He will be treated, I promise." Soon a doctor named Kanadi hurried in, sweat on his brow. "Excellency, the boy has severe pneumonia. His lungs are failing. He needs oxygen immediately." "Then give him oxygen," Ibrahim ordered. Konate hesitated. We only have 5 cylinders. Everyone is already in use. If another patient arrives, we transfer them 2 hours away. Some survive. Many don't." The corridor froze. Families looked away, ashamed of the truth spoken aloud. Ibrahim's voice dropped into steel. so if a soldier arrives, he breathes. But this child does not? Konate swallowed. There are 2 cylinders in the ward reserved for battlefield wounds. It is protocol. Protocol? Ibrahim's voice thundered. If oxygen exists in this building, it belongs to every citizen, soldier or child. Unlock that ward, now. His order spread like fire. Within minutes, an oxygen cylinder was rolled out. Technicians fought with rusted valves. Nurses steadied trembling hands, until finally oxygen hissed to life. Solain's chest rose easier. The battle wasn't over, but hope had entered the room. Hours passed. Ibrahim refused to leave. He sat with Salimata in the waiting area, her head resting against his shoulder. Every time she stirred and asked, "Is he better yet?" He gave the same steady answer. "He's stronger." Hold on to that. Near midnight, Nurse Amina emerged. Exhaustion etched into her face, but her eyes carried a smile. "Excellency, he is stable. The fever has broken. He will need oxygen for days, but for now he is safe." Salimata gasped, flinging her arms around Ibrahim. "Thank you." He placed a hand on her head. "You carried him here. Without you, he would not have lived. You saved him." The next morning, Ibrahim stood before his ministers. His boots still carried the dust of the hospital floor. His voice was calm but unshakable. "Yesterday I saw a girl carrying her brother because a hospital turned them away. Their father died in that same place for the same reason. No tools, no staff. No chance, that ends now." The room went silent. He laid out a plan, not empty promises, but concrete steps. Oxygen and medicine would be mobilized immediately. Military trucks would deliver supplies to the hardest-hit areas. Mobile clinics would deploy. An emergency hotline would be launched. And within a year, a new law, free emergency care for every child in the nation. His words rang like iron. "Do not tell me we cannot afford children's lives. If we waste money, cut it. If we lack staff, train them. From today, no hospital says we cannot. Not one." Weeks later, the nation had changed. Ambulances rumbled down dusty roads where none had gone before. Oxygen tanks filled hospitals that once ran dry. Young doctors, once desperate to leave, now stayed with pride. And in a modest clay home at the edge of the city, a boy named Solain laughed again, building a toy car from cardboard. His sister, Salimata, leaned close, teaching him how to fix the wheels. Their mother worked now at a new health center, her hands no longer raw from endless labor. One afternoon, Ibrahim visited them quietly. No cameras, no speeches, just a man sharing a simple meal with a family. As he rose to leave, Salimata tugged at his sleeve. "Uncle Ibrahim, will you forget us now?" He knelt to meet her eyes. "Never, because your story is now our nation's story. You carried your brother, and together we will carry each other." And so, from dusty roads to crowded hospital wards, one truth echoed. When leaders carry the burdens of the weakest, a nation begins to rise. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others. Together, we can spread hope instead of silence. Welcome to Story Lovers, from where you watching.